Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod. Today it's around 5:30 a.m. in Tokyo and 31 degrees or so. We're about to go for a Fartlek, which is an interval run, so let me pop in my head and we'll get to work. It's too early for this. Yeah, welcome to Todoroki Ravine. It's not too bad. I'll let these people cross for a second. Let me get my tracker going. Whoops, not Beachbody. Let's see. I don't have one of those. I don't want to do this run. Let's put on a glove. It's so gross out, man. It's like 0.3 degrees Celsius, so we're right at freezing. And I have a little bit of hamstring catch right now that I'm working through, so we're gonna have to be really mindful of form in the beginning of this sucker. All right, YouTube, and then we'll get to work. But how are y'all doing? Happy Tuesday or Thursday. What day is it? Friday? I don't even know anymore. Let's see, this is actually live. Start walking. Yeah, my daughter woke up crying at like 2 a.m. And I woke up at 4:30 a.m. So that was very, it's just unsettling. Like, love my kids. It's hard to lock it in though when stuff like that happens. I want to skip the survey. Why are you making me take a survey? Alright, chilly. Also, I don't have my leggings today. Alright. So, an interval, or a fartlek, basically. Oh crap, that's what we need. Let me put my glove on. Is basically we're gonna do low intensity, which is our half marathon pace. High intensity is a faster run to kick up the heart rate. It's a very, very good training method, but it sucks really bad. I need my flashlight on. Turn auto rotate off. Alright, brisk. Alright, so we always do 1 minute lows and then we step up the high intervals from 30 seconds at 30-second interval minutes. Here we go. Sucking the core. Nice and mellow. Now, one area of discomfort that's new, besides the obvious one, which is that left hamstring, which is a little goofy today, is I was cutting my toenails yesterday. Y'all are like, really? We're going there? Well, it's life. I gotta be real with y'all. I was cutting my toenails and angled the clippers a little too sharply. And I didn't split the nail, but it was on the pinky toe. And the pinky toe is like super sensitive. And then I couldn't like recover it. Like the split went all the way in. So I didn't want to cut perpendicular to that. Oh, we gotta kick it up. I forgot. 10 seconds. I got too comfortable. How because I was. Bring it down. First interval was a wash. So we'll go to 2:30. But I tried to cut like perpendicular to it, but the split was too deep. So I went into archaeologist mode. Yeah, had to do an excavation. So I worked down to the root the best I could. And I was like, all right, we're just gonna commit. Where you kind of grab it. You're like, I'm just gonna pull. It's connected to the cuticle, but we're gonna hope for the best. Results were the worst. ripped half my toe off. Okay, not that bad, but bad enough. All right, we got 1 minute high. Whew. Running to 3:30. Whew. Chilly, chilly, chilly. 30 seconds. Working on striding it out. Bring it down. Hit a deadlift. Tuck core. Get to go till 4:50. Now, friends, this one's a little tricky. Got the cardio aspect. It's very freaking cold. And my left hip is not where I want it to be. So I'm gonna walk. So we're gonna go try to walk, throttle it. One of the things I do at my age, let's jog it. Minute 30 will get us to 6. One of the things I do at my age really work. Actually, this I gotta go slow. The downhill is where I'm getting the most issue on pain. And it's really screwing up my form. So, as much as I want to just hit this fartlek, I gotta reset a couple things and get my breathing. But I gotta run with good form, and I can tell I'm like last week where I was coming in super fresh. This week I can't come in as fast because there's a form issue that we're working through. So I would rather throttle it back and keep myself from injuring out, because that's going to jeopardize the Monday run. And that's where I want to put the most risk, like in your program or your training, whatever it looks like. There are certain workouts where you want to push and take some chances and stretch and grow without injury. And there are other parts where it's okay to be conservative because you know you're bringing the push a different way on a different day. Right? Like a recovery workout. You don't need to, on a recovery run hard, for instance, because that's not what the run's about. All right, let's do a couple more. The problem is we did legs yesterday. It felt great. Got that 2 a.m. wake up. I was a little loopy, walking a little weird. Had some fatigue. Ooh, these are good. We're gonna do some marches. So I still have my timer. So maybe every 30 seconds to a minute, I'll adjust between a run, a walk, a jog, a stretch, a march. We can still get a good workout in, even if it's short. And we could still do that without injuring ourselves, because we're saving ourselves for Monday. Monday's the long run day. Ooh, a little wispy, hear that? I gotta clear out the lungs. There we go. I'll do some Wim Hof breathing to kind of heat myself up. And even though I'm walking right now, I'm actually really focusing on squeezing different muscle groups, kind of contracting different things to get my form and posture reset up. Because something's just off enough that I gotta honor that. It doesn't mean we have to full stop and quit, which is also what I would like to do. I mean, it's early, it's dark, it's cold, it's quiet and lonely. I'm like, well, now let's see if we could still get something. About 8 minutes in, see if we could stretch that to at least 10 minutes going out. That's 10 minutes going back. It's still 20 minutes. I'll still get us at least a mile. Last week we were a monster. We stacked our intervals from 30 seconds high to a minute 30, 2 minutes, 2:30, 3:30, ran it, did a minute low at halfway, turned around, so we did a 3:30 coming back. It was the first time I'd doubled the 3:30 rep. Oh, savage. But today my body's saying, hey, you're in a different spot. And I think we want, as humans, we want progress to be easy, first of all, which we just know that's not true. I'm hitting some deadlifts again, which I did yesterday, and I lifted them heavy. I felt good during it, but it could have been that or the single leg raises when I was doing like a glute bridge. Anyway, something tweaked the left hamstring enough that I just recognized I gotta respect it. So we've gone from a fartlek run walk fartlek jog run into a walk with kind of some form calibration movements, just to see if we could get at least some distance out on our legs today. Like, we're already past 10 minutes, and I was saying, oh, 10 would get us up to a 20-minute workout, get us a mile and a half. And I was like, you can keep throttling. Because what's going on is, from a discomfort and pain perspective, I am perceiving a little bit of a decrease, which is good. So I'm working into it the right way. It's still there. It's still prevalent. And if I make a couple bad decisions, like if I decide, nope, we're at high intervals again, it'll come back real fast. And I'm also noticing my form is getting a little better, a little bit more symmetric. So I'm just kind of taking my time. Every step controlling movement. All right, here comes some more deadlifts. Now for me, the deadlift is a really big deal, and I don't deadlift at a gym with really heavy weights. I use dumbbells at home. I really focus on bracing core, having good form. And I have some neuromuscular issues because of spinal injuries, so it's difficult for me to activate and squeeze certain muscle groups. And deadlifts kind of give me just enough of a form cue to know and respect what I'm doing. Alright, let's come over here. Let's do a hip squat. Oh, those are hard too. Let's do a pause at the bottom. Squeeze at the top. So a lot of what I'm working on right now is just getting a good core contraction. calibrating posture of my upper back. And the hardest part is like tucking that tailbone. I want to be going really loose with it. That's not what my body needs, so. Alright, so we're about 12 minutes in, so that's pretty good. Still making something out of nothing, right? Yeah, it's funny, I listen to a lot of Goggins. Dave Goggins, great guy. Great guy. Super motivational. Definitely knows who he is and knows his demographic of the people he's trying to push. And you can't, every single person's different, right? So they gravitate towards different leadership styles, different mindsets towards fitness and progress. Here comes this guy. This guy's crushing it. Probably an 8-minute mile pace. Maybe faster. It's gotta be quicker. Oh, he's got a short stride. But anyway, love me some Goggins, right? He was training some, I don't know, UFC fighter on a treadmill. And like, the UFC fighter gets off the treadmill and Goggins is yelling at him to get back on the treadmill. And then he throws up, gets back on the treadmill. It's like, I remember when I used to train that way. And there's a time and a space for it, and a certain person for it. It was one of those like, that's not for everyone motivation. Is that healthy? There's another one, he was training some dude on an elliptical bike or something. Same kind of thing. Person threw up and Goggins was just smiling. It was like, yeah! There's progress. I forgot what he was saying about it. Kid got back on a bike. There are times to push beyond limits and boundaries. Within the way I train, and I guess at this point I can use the language, the way I coach for DadBod, we're not breaking through limits. Because the problem is when you get into your 30s and you've had a kid or a couple kids and you work on your job, riding a desk, and you've been eating crap food for a year, you know, it all stacks, and you got hip injury and back issues, and you have the mindset of comparison of what your body was in high school and college. All those things can lead you to think you can push beyond a limit that your body's not conditioned or prepared for. And then that ego drives you to injury. And then you're out for 2 to 4 weeks. Then you restart, make progress for a couple weeks, get to another moment like that, think you can push that way, and you're injured again. Because your muscles and ligaments can only handle so much. All right, I'm happy. 16 minutes. Nice. Turn it back. Finally warm things up a little bit, which is good. But like, those two people that were training and puking, they were conditioned enough to get to that point and not be injured and damaged by it. It's just the body saying like, hey, there's a lot of strain we're experiencing right now. I don't think we can hold what we got. And the body's like, reject this to live. That's not how you should train every day. Like, I remember I was training for track and field. We're trying to increase our time. We're running these circuits, pushing, coaches blowing the whistle, yelling. Everyone's trying to hit certain times. You know, I got to a point where like my body was like, nah, whatever we did for lunch, that experience isn't lining up with what we're doing right now. Threw up in the bushes. Some poor neighbor, some old lady was out there trying to water her petunias and be like, oh, what's that smell? It was me. You know, and after that, like, I hopped right back in and I ran. But in my present season, I'm not gonna work that way. Because if I've gotten to that threshold from like the cardiovascular perspective, I've probably already screwed something up with my form, which is putting high load on spine, hips, and knees. I can't train that way, and I don't desire to train that way because it's not the kind of athleticism I'm targeting. Like, I want to be able to run low and slow, but far. I want to be able to do it safe with my current frame, which is 6'3", 307 pounds. So that's why right now we're doing a brisk walk. We're still burning calories. We're still out on our body. We're still feeling discomfort in our left hamstring. But because I'm not moving quickly, I can control every landing, kind of get things moving the way they should. At least I think I can. The only problem I have right now is I'm in no man's land and I kind of gotta pee, which is just part of life. There's your deadlifts. Squeeze the butt. But yeah, I mean, over the course of the last 19 minutes, I've been able to start to get my abs pulling symmetrically, which is great for form. I'm not fully there. I have a little bit of different tension on each side, which I can perceive. I've been able to start to tuck the tailbone gradually. It's not all the way tucked. And part of it is because I hit legs yesterday. My hamstrings are tight, which from a mobility perspective, it's hard to have a contracted core, a gradual forward lean, a tucked tailbone, and kick the legs back, because it's a mobility thing. So that's where I'm starting to hit some limiting factors. But my body's warmed up. I'm breathing, moving. It's not the workout I planned on, but we made something out of it. And when I get home, might do a little bit of dynamic work. But the great thing about all this, we didn't push into injuries, and we saved some push for another day. I'm gonna hit a quick hamstring. Oh, tight. Tight. Oh, poor balance. A couple deadlifts. It's pretty crazy that I was in front of a mirror in the bathroom sideways, did a deadlift and kind of looked and even compared my body to a couple months ago. I was like, holy crap. Like, not in bad shape, friends. I'm not a NFL linebacker. That's the build I'm going for eventually. I want to be able to move athletically, safely. I remember playing soccer with my son a week ago on a rooftop playground, which is just a trip. Japan is so cool. And I was like able to like hop and dribble the ball safely. Like, that was so impactful for me, because lateral movements, they're a little bit more tricky with a lot of my prior injuries and being heavier set. And I was like, whoa, I could like be in athletic ready position and move my feet back and forth, front and back, kick a ball, not have anything adverse happen. How cool is that, you know? So we're getting there little by little. But I say little by little because we're on day 229. You know, that's day 229 of starting the DadBod half marathon program, which was like 16 weeks, and then 100 plus days after that program, continuing on the journey. But that's still building on years of physical therapy, doing other training programs, rehabbing my body. It's just where I've started to, I guess, count, if that makes sense. So it's pretty wild, the whole deal. It's pretty crazy how far we've come. I mean, just a year ago, I was getting epidurals, you know, like what they give women in labor, slightly different dosage, but they would inject nerve blockers or like pain medicine in my spine. Like, like, it was crazy. I was doing that every month. Every month I would go see a spinal surgeon. He'd put a needle in my back, and then it was helpful therapy though, because it did reduce inflammation, which helped me get some of the symptoms under control as I was training up core and back strength and trying to rehab it. But like, just that I let my body get to that state in my 30s, only 31, almost 32. So where we are now, the goal is really injury prevention, building strength, athleticism, mobility. It's not on aesthetics, that's for sure. If they come, they come. I'm not ready for the deficit. It's so funny, I got right here. I was like, I don't want to climb these. Turn on core, forward lean. All I did, friends, is kind of calibrate form so that I'm walking, I'm driving up the steps with good posture. Definitely challenging that hamstring. Jog it up. Seeing if I could bring the jog back in. The form right now anyway, less injury prone on uphills. Downhills, when I was coming down this, that's where I started feeling me kind of overextending my back, landing hard on the heel and shooting pain of the hamstring. With this, I can get back into the work safely. Now I'm cold, I have to pee, I have dead legs, a lot of factors, but we're moving again. 26, I'll try to add a high interval. They seem to be moving. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's kick it up. Let's go for a minute 30. That'll take us to 27:30. Now I'm only doing this because, first of all, I want to challenge myself. But also, like, my landings are way better than when I started. All the squats, hamstring stretches, deadlifts, walking, core contraction, hip tilt form checks, all that stuff kind of got my posture to where it needs to be. And I used the stairs earlier as kind of a guide. 35, let's go. So even if your workout doesn't start the way you want, like, if you stay in the process, you can get things back on the level. Because I'm on 5 seconds. Whew. 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 Slow. Slow. Good form. Go to 28:30. That was huge. Huge one right there. Just to get one of them. Just to get the body back where I want it to be. Work through all that demotivation. You know, we could talk about like, oh, I could have started sooner. Could have pushed a little harder. I could go add another mile. We're down on the walk. There's always could-haves. Right? There will always be another could-have. But despite our demotivation, despite the cold, despite, I'm not even gonna say injuries, but despite some form and discomforts, asymmetric muscle fatigue, like, we found a way to modify pace and form, get things leveled out, and then put a little push on top. And that should be really the ultimate validation of the journey, rather than a condemnation of what we didn't do. And some of you might just be condemning yourself that, man, I've been talking about getting healthier for years. I haven't done anything. Well, maybe, sure. But you're here, you're thinking about it. You're really continuing to try to be honest and face yourself and the impact of your decisions and lifestyles. And we don't want to find condemnation for who we were or what we've done, but really you're looking for conviction of where you want to go and what that journey requires. And that can lead to real life shifts, and those shifts have to be done consistently for months and years to really get what you desire. There's no 90-day fix. It's a process. Even when I finished the DadBod program, it went to 112 days, 16 weeks of workouts to safely and gradually train you up for a half marathon. And in the last couple workouts, we really started talking about how, like, this isn't a check the box. Like, you have to embed this into your life. You know, some of you are waiting for the journey to complete or to end. I'm like, that's not the right goal. That means you're just gonna 100% regress to where you were. Oh, we did it. 30 minutes.